Today, we're going to talk about A Woman's Journey, the 6 Periods of Creation, and this is from an essay that Robin wrote. Not long ago, I'm excited to share this week's book review, and it's from an adoptive mother of 2. I'm an adoptive mother and have never physically given birth. But even with only reading about 20% of the book, The Gift of Giving Life, I was able to draw connections between the process of birth and the adoption process. I received understanding that although I didn't give birth physically, I did not miss out on the important lessons and growth discussed in the book. Through adopting my son, my capacity for patience, faith, and personal revelation was increased. The reading I've done so far helped me reflect on those concepts about my own process of becoming a mother, and I was able to draw a lot of parallels between birth and my son's adoption. Consequently, I felt very empowered, even as an adoptive mom. I love the book. I've told so many people about it. I just wanted to write and say thank you so much for writing and compiling such a wonderful resource. You've done a great and important work. Thank you so much, Heather, for sharing your review about The Gift of Giving Life and from such a wonderful perspective as an adoptive mom. Today, we're going to talk about A Woman's Journey, the 6 Periods of Creation, and this is from an essay that Robin wrote. Not long ago, I found myself sitting in the garden room of the Idaho Falls Temple, pondering what was next for me. I had just had my 3rd miscarriage since my last child. I realized that the repeated miscarriages meant that a chapter of my life was closing. I felt a little lost and confused. I'd been in and out of pregnancy, breastfeeding, and birthing babies for the last 18 years. I just didn't realize that an end was coming when it did. So while I felt ready to embrace a new chapter, I felt a bit melancholy about it too. One of the beautiful things about going to the temple is that, given our different circumstances, we will hear the same things, but they will mean something new or different to us. That day, for me, it was being reminded of the 6 periods of creation. When God directs the creation, it is a beautiful harmony of events. Each creative period has its time and place. I had this aha moment where I realized that I was not done creating. I was just moving on to a different creative period of my life. I felt like it was the Lord's way of telling me that my family is complete and that it was okay for me to move on to the next stage of life that would no longer include pregnancy, breastfeeding, diapers, and so on. It was Dieter F. Uchtdorf that said, "Creation means bringing into existence something that did not exist before. Colorful gardens, harmonious homes, family memories, flowing laughter." As women, we do not move from one period of creation to the next in the same way or order. We each have different experiences, talents, gifts, and challenges that pull us towards a particular form of creation. For a long time, it was childbearing for me. That period of time may be shorter for other women, or longer. It may not even happen in this life, but that period of creation will come. If you are a mother, you participate with God in His work of creation, not only by providing physical bodies for your children, but also by teaching and nurturing them. If you are not a mother now, the creative talents you develop will prepare you for that day, in this life or the next. Participating in creating is an ongoing process. The focus of creation for me will just become a little different. I like Elder Uchtdorf's suggestion. The more you trust and rely upon the Spirit, the greater your capacity to create. That is your opportunity in this life and your destiny in the life to come. Sisters, trust and rely on the Spirit. As you take the normal opportunities of your daily life and create something of beauty and helpfulness, you improve not only the world around you, but also the world within you. In the end, I feel like I'm still in the process of being created. And like the painting above, which I'll link to in the show notes, the Lord is directing it. I can't see everything from my perspective, but He can, and I trust His wisdom and guidance. How grateful I am for the 6 babies who came to our family and the powerful experience that it was to carry them, birth them, and nurture them. And so I'm moving on to a new period of creation, relying on the Spirit to guide the way. May that Spirit guide you in whatever period of creation you may find yourself in. I love those words by Robin. And they're especially timely for me right now as I start the Gift of Giving Life podcast. I have started 2 other podcasts in 2020. Last year, I started Finding Joy in the Journey, and I also started an Enjoy Birth podcast. And I was surprised when God asked me to start this podcast because we really haven't done a lot with sharing the gift of giving life in the past few years. And when God inspired heavily upon me that I needed to start sharing the book again very actively, I was surprised and also a little worried how I was going to balance everything. And then God asked me to stop doing my Finding Joy in the Journey podcast for a while so I could focus on this podcast. And I will admit I was confused and I was sad and I was disappointed. And I recorded my last 2 podcasts to say I was going to take a break. My plan is to start again with that in the fall. I feel like God said I can do that once I get this one going. And as soon as I was done recording those, because I batch record my podcasts, I started recording the Gift of Life podcast episodes. And I felt the Spirit so strongly as I was recording them and as I am recording them. And it makes me excited to move on to this new period of creation. So this essay, it was so timely for me, even though it had nothing to do with birth per se, but rather just thinking of these different stages of creation. And I don't know what stage of creation you're in your journey. Maybe you're just even thinking about having a baby and you're in that thinking about starting a family creative period. Or maybe you're having your 6th or 7th baby and that's a creative period for you. Or maybe you're like me and I haven't had a baby for 15 years, but there's other creative periods of my life that I'm having to shift to. And that's just how life is. There's always new changes. There's always new opportunities for growth. So may the Spirit guide you in whatever period of creation you may find yourself in. And we would love to hear what that is and what kind of guidance you're getting from the Spirit on that. You can share your experience on our Instagram account at Gift of Giving Life, or you can also contact us via our website, thegiftofgivinglife.com. We're excited to hear your experiences and excited. Also, we have a Facebook group that we can connect on and share with one another and lift one another up. Please rate and review this podcast. Share it with all your friends. And if you want more inspiration, you can always buy The Gift of Giving Life on Amazon for yourself or for any other woman that you know.